and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a film from 2005. That movie is Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I have wanted to watch this movie for many, many years, mainly because I'm a big fan of most of Tim Burton's work, and also because this is the first time Tim Burton has ever actually directed a stop-motion film. That, to me, just sounds awesome no matter how you try to slice it. Now, before anyone starts leaving comments about how, no, Tim Burton also directed the Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach, you're wrong. Those are both produced by Burton, but those were directed by a man named Henry Selick. So this is Burton's first time actually directing a stop-motion film. I do happen to remember seeing ads for this when it first came out back in 2005. Unfortunately, outside of the fact that it stars Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp, which, of course, honestly, it would star those two because it is in fact a Tim Burton movie. Anyway, beyond that, I couldn't tell you a single thing that was in those ads. I have almost no memory of it outside of the fact that it looked really good, and tonight I finally have my chance to sit down and watch it, and I'm going to get to see if this thing is any good. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. I would like to say, guys, right now that, and I am not even joking when I say this is some of the best stop motion animation I have ever fucking seen. This stuff is some of the smoothest, most fluid stop motion, and I'm fucking loving every second of it, guys. Alright, guys, I'm just gonna say this. That fucking dog skeleton is shockingly cute for a living dog skeleton. Well, undead dog skeleton. You totally know what I'm fucking saying. It comes off as kind of sort of cute in a creepy sort of way. I'm actually kind of sort of digging that. You know, guys, I totally understand that this film's been a little bit dark in tone, but I just saw a character die of I'm going to assume dead, of a fucking heart attack. That was probably the darkest thing in this entire film. It was actually it was just a little bit unfucking settling. You know, guys, I honestly, when I went into this movie, I had no idea it was going to end with a sword, well, not really a sword fight, more like a sword versus fork fight inside of a fucking church. I was in no way expecting that, but guess what? It's really fucking cool. Well, guys, that was Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Let's shut that off. Okay. So, where should I start? Well, I guess I can start with music. I understand I don't normally start with music, but I kind of feel like touching on that first. Because this movie is, in fact, a musical. Unfortunately, most of the songs in this thing, at least songs sung by characters, actual proper songs, kind of suck. The only one that, to me, really stands out is maybe the second song in there, which is this really jazzy piece about exactly how our titular corpse bride came to be a corpse. It was a really awesome song. I really liked that. But then every other song that is sung, the other like 3, maybe 4 songs in this thing, all feel kind of forced, and the pacing on them isn't totally right. They just didn't sound as good, which is stunning, because everything else in here, guys, the actual score, the background music, is some of the best that Danny Elfman has ever put out. Unfortunately, it's also sort of hobbled by the fact that these other songs, they just don't sound right. Now, it could be because of the people singing them. It could be because of just how the songs were, written. It could just be how the music in the background was working through them. Just something about most of the songs in here just didn't feel right. I just sort of wanted to mention that up front. And I honestly was kind of sort of expecting a little bit better, especially since I usually am kind of into musicals, especially slightly darker musicals like, this one. Unfortunately, again, most of the songs were not that good. Now, moving on to writing. I really liked the writing in this thing, guys. We had here humor that was really, really tight. Our story floated at a beautiful pace, which honestly it kind of had to because the movie's less than an hour and 20 minutes long. So you have to make sure that everything's going at a pretty decent fucking clip. Pacing here is really good. Our characters are all fleshed out properly, even those who don't have flesh. Ha ha. Characters here are done very, very well. Our story here is written in a very tight fashion. I really liked everything in here in terms of writing. I do have to put a little bit of extra emphasis on the humor in this film. I really liked the rather dark humor that this film used. It just came off to me as just a fantastic little bit of comedy slipped into this dark sort of like romance film. It's a really fantastic script. I'm really happy with how that turned out. Our acting, first of all, I should mention that our cast is a very, very star-powered cast where we have everything from now we have our two leads, which are played by Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. We also have Christopher Lee and Michael Gough and Tracy Ullman. All of them turning in fantastic performances. All of them turning in stellar showings. The acting here is probably some of the best you will see almost anywhere. I'm actually trying to think if there was any acting that came off as a little bit weak, and I really don't think so. I really believe that all the acting was really top notch stuff. Now, animation. I mentioned way early on in this video that this is some of the smoothest stop motion animation I have ever seen, and I will stand by that. This is incredibly fluid stop motion animation. In fact, they actually were able to do things here which most other stop motion films seem to kind of falter on, and that is things such as fabric. When fabric has to move or flow, it oftentimes has this sort of jerky look to it, and in a couple of shots it still has that. However, though, the thing that I found most stunning is almost every shot with our titular bride Emily, where she has her veil and her hair and everything is just flowing seamlessly and beautifully. It is some of the most breathtaking animation you will ever see in the realm of stop motion. And everything else here is done very, 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 very well in terms of character movement, mouth animations. Everything here is some very top-notch stuff. I will happily cite this as probably one of the best stop-motion films I have ever seen, just in terms of animation quality. Now, it does have a couple of moments where it gets that very, very trademark jerkiness, which you see in almost every other stop-motion film. This is normally when they're dealing with like liquids, or once more in a very small number of shots, fabrics that are supposed to be like moving and billowing and and all that come off very, very stiff. However, though, those shots are so rare that you honestly might notice them and you're not really going to care. Animation here is fantastic, and I cannot praise it enough. It looks that good. Now, is there anything else to really talk about? Lighting here is done really, really well. CG, there actually is, at least I'm going to assume, a little bit of CG, because there's no way in hell that you can have perfect looking flame and rain and smoke and do it in a stop motion environment. So I'm going to assume that all of that was digitally put in later, and it all looks fantastic, and it actually kind of helps add a little bit of realism to everything, and it just makes everything pop and stand out really, really well. Trying to think if there's anything else I can really talk about with this movie. See, I've talked about writing, acting, see the music, the animation. Yeah, honest to God, guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Corpse Bride? Oh, hell yes, I can. I will say that this is certainly one of Tim Burton's better films, but I will never say that it is anywhere near his best, because this thing here is good, but it certainly is not in the same league as stuff like Batman, Mars Attacks, and some of the other films that Burton has been known for. Beetlejuice is the one that kind of comes to mind with me as just some fantastic stuff. And Beetlejuice also showed that Burton can work a little bit of stop motion here and there. This film showed that he is able to kick into stop motion for the entire run of a film and make it look fantastic. I can definitely recommend this thing. And if you haven't seen it yet, by all means, go out there, guys, check it out. I'm going to tell you right now, I actually bought this thing as part of a Blu-ray 3-pack with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Beetlejuice. I still haven't seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'll probably cover that at some point in this series. But I really bought it because I loved Beetlejuice and I had high hopes on Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride did not disappoint. I absolutely loved this film from start to finish, and even honestly, guys, with its few minor flaws, a couple of the songs kind of sucking and animation being just a little bit jerky. I don't mind any of that because frankly, guys, jerky animation is just something that comes with stop motion. The very fact that 99% of this is so fluid and so seamless and so perfect that it actually just sort of allows me to look past the two, maybe three shots all told where the animation is just not quite up to par. So yeah, guys, I can definitely recommend this thing, and if you haven't seen it yet, by all means, swing out, check it out. Honestly, now after watching this, I kind of feel like marathoning a handful of Burton films. You know what? Beetlejuice is also part of this Blu-ray pack. I also have on my shelf Mars Attacks, Batman. I am going to just have some fun. I'm gonna go and watch those because damn it, I am really in a Burton watching mood. Anyway, guys, with that we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.